Hello, so today I'm going to talk about Unity. Firstly, I didn't really want to record this video because I'm worried it will be a little ranty and rub people the wrong way, but a bunch of people asked, like, why do you dislike Unity so much? Which I guess when they watch the Unreal and the CryEngine video, I guess my distaste for Unity seeped in. I thought I was keeping that under control. Apparently not. So, well, firstly, let me talk a bit about Unity and its strengths. So Unity is quite easy to use, and for all the scripting, they use C#, which is a good programming language. I much prefer it to JavaScript, or I don't know, basically any other scripting language. It also has a Unity asset store, so you can get things to improve your Unity experience or components for your game, and those are really easy to drop in. They have a pretty effective component model, so you can create reusable components pretty easily and combine them and whatnot. Let's see, also you can, edit your shaders while the game is still running. You can, I think you can edit and continue with the C# code, maybe not, I don't know. But, I mean, it's a pretty easy tool to use. So I don't want to, just spend this video completely bagging on Unity. And I think it's also a great learning tool to introduce to game development and stuff. So I guess I have to quit stalling and get right to it. So why don't I like Unity? Well, there is a ton of reasons, and I probably can't go into all of them, but it seems to me that Unity is not really well suited to create high quality, games. Well, basically, I mean, it seems, suited towards beginners, and it just doesn't scale well. So, for example, one of my big issues with Unity is that the files are binary, they can't be merged, it stomps the permissions. So we use Perforce for version control. Perforce is definitely the best choice, and the nice thing about Perforce is you have sort of a lock-unlock paradigm, and you can basically say, hey, I need this. Well, apparently it doesn't matter with Unity because it just stomps that. Although on the Unity project I was using Git, and it was really terrible because, like, so much of the data is stored in the level file, and so basically we just had two programmers working on it, and we were constantly fighting and had to revert our things, and it was a massive pain in the butt. And certainly this could be mitigated with a well-designed text format for your level data. So, like with Neverending Nightmares, we can do merges, and sometimes you have to fix a little things here and there, but we don't normally have to revert unless it's just like an easy fix. Then maybe it's better to revert. So that's frustrating. It seems like there will be teams working on games, and especially the larger your team, the more difficult it is. And certainly storing, I mean, some things like prefabs and whatnot don't go into that Unity file, although those are also stored in binary. Which, like, really, I think you should only use binary files for your game data, like your WAD file, just because it's much more efficient. Although a lot of people still use textual formats, but we use binary formats for our game data. But for your source data, really, there's no good reason to use binary. I guess it might be slightly faster to load, but it'll bite you in the butt for merges. So anyway, besides that, I have been working a certain way in my game development career, and for effect, I like to create procedural geometry. and use it however I want. And I mean, this is something that's sort of basic, right? Like, I am putting polygons to the screen, and that's what I like to do. Here's some polygons, I want to put them on the screen. Let me do that. And unfortunately, there's not really a good way to do that in Unity, which is just ridiculous. And I mean, I understand from a technical standpoint they're really optimizing towards static meshes, or I mean animated, but I mean things they can just put in a vertex buffer and then leave alone. But it's pretty crazy for to not allow that. I mean, you can create a dynamic mesh, but then you run into huge problems with another thing I hate about Unity, which is garbage collection. So one of the big problems with using C# for a game development, for any game rather, is that the language supports garbage collection. And the problem with that is the way their generational garbage collection works is it suspends all threads and then traces things and see what's no longer referenced, and then gets rid of those. Now the problem is that will basically give you frame hitches. And so this problem is magnified because you don't know what Unity is doing. Like, they try to keep the interfaces really simple. So say you do like a mesh, right? And so I was doing procedural geometry, and there was a bunch of garbage collection because I was creating arrays and copying them back and forth. So then I said, okay, I'm not going to create anything. I'm just going to use the array that's already there and keep the size. But then apparently, like, every vertex you set or something randomly creates new arrays and buffers. And so I did this pass to optimize for garbage collection, and then the garbage collection was a million times worse because I apparently was, Unity under the hood was doing some stupid things with garbage collection, and it ended up being a big mess. So I mean, there's not really a good way around that. What you have to do is create pools of objects and stuff, and reuse them, but then, Unity itself is not really suited well for that. So I don't know if they should, internally change the way they use the memory or what, but I mean, it gets to be a big mess. I guess another irritating thing is, I mean, it's closed source, and if there's a problem, you're just screwed. So with our project, basically every second time I preview the project, it crashes. And this project isn't Neverending Nightmares. This was some consulting stuff I was doing. Or sorry, it freezes, which is just ridiculous. Like, and then I emailed them in like December or something, and then they didn't fix it. And then there was another bug with the way they were doing normals, and they said, oh well, here's a workaround. And it's like, if the bugs aren't getting fixed, then what do you do? And I mean, so much of my time in Unity was spent trying to work around things, either limitations of Unity or the bugs, their issues, So I mean, it's a very frustrating experience because it's like, I know what I'm doing, I can do it, with the sane system, but basically I have to learn to use Unity's system, which all, don't do what I want to, and so I have to try and be really clever and see how I can misuse their system to accomplish what I want. And so, I mean, I think that's the main reason. Certainly the freezing every other time makes it absolutely miserable to work in, and invalidates everyone's arguments that it's so easy to use, just preview, yay. Which, I mean, again, is probably specific to my project, but I mean, I sent them, the project and told them this is what happened, and they're like, oh yeah, we can repro it, and then never fixed it. So, I mean, working in Unity is a miserable experience for me, and I mean, it's just, everything is designed for, beginners. And if you want to go sort of beyond that beginner level, you oftentimes have to find ways to work around it. Or, I mean, you just change your game, right? Like, if you're just doing everything with standard 3D geometry and not doing much shader work or anything, because the shader stuff is a bit of a mess, in my opinion. And you only have, like, 2 texture coordinates to work with, which is total garbage. I mean, I guess you can reuse some of the other things, but it's like... I mean, basically, they have these weird limitations. You know, they don't really have... you know, you can't do a mesh with a lot of different parameters and whatnot. And I mean, you're just stuck with them. And, you know, you can maybe reuse the color channels instead of, you know, extra texture coordinates, or you could, I don't know, use normal or tangent spaces or something, but I don't know if those, I don't know. I mean, there's things you can do, but it's, the entire thing is just, you know, try to figure out how to work around, you know, the limitations of Unity, of which there are many. Which is not the way I want to work, because I've been making games professionally for, I don't know, 11 years or something. And so, you know, all of a sudden I have to relearn everything I've been doing for 11 years, and, you know, why? What is Unity giving me? And I mean, certainly Unity gives you some things, and again, for some projects it's probably a better fit than others, but, the real question I would be asking myself is, you know, if we're looking at middleware, is that what does Unity give me that, you know, I don't know, let's say CryEngine doesn't. I mean, I haven't worked with CryEngine, but I mean, I think it might even be cheaper than Unity Pro, which is, I don't know, $75 a month. I thought CryEngine was like, I mean, if you get the subscription, I think CryEngine's like 20 or something, I don't know. But, I mean, you know, or Unreal 4, which, you know, Epic has been sort of the leader in middleware for a long time. So, I mean, again, I haven't used Unreal 4. I don't know what it's like, but I expect that, you know, it's designed for AAA games. It's designed to scale down to mobile. It's designed to be flexible and whatnot. So... And they have some interesting things like a visual scripting language, and I think they got rid of Unreal Script, so if you want to, you know, code, then you do it in C++, which is fine by me. I mean, I like using C# for tools and whatnot, but in general for game code I like C++ because I understand the memory model, I understand... you know, how to write efficient code. I don't have to worry about garbage collection or weird things going on underneath. So, I am certainly hopeful that, you know, the move to lower cost engines will hopefully give people other options than Unity, because, I mean, certainly Unity may work for you and it may work for a lot of projects, but it certainly is not something I would be interested in. So, I guess that's all I had to say, and hopefully it didn't come across as too ranty, and I mean, certainly there are good things about Unity, and feel free to use it. I'm not trying to scold people who do, I'm just trying to say that Unity is a bad fit for me and the work that I do. So, thanks for watching.